Hello.
This project is an intergenerational project. It's bringing younger and older people together to share memories, learn new skills together, all around the theme of cinema, and particularly Worcester and Worcestershire cinema through the ages, so for the past 50 plus years.
We're looking at the history of cinema, but it's not just fact of how it was, it's people's opinions and how they remember it.
And the films that people used to go and see, and what people used to go and wear, and the whole event of going to see a film.
What the decor was like, what some of the famous film stars.
It's about gathering memories of cinema in the Worcestershire area, memories from people that were there at the time, about the buildings, and about encouraging younger and older people to mix.
It runs very nicely into this project, which is about the human side of cinema and how it's changed over the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
I always amazed about murders. Now, this is a bit morbid, but...
Yeah, I'm there with you. I'm there.
I'm always interested about murderers.
Mm-hmm. What films about murderers?
Yes.
The old...
Always talking about the old films at the old cinemas, how they used to have the organ, and the music used to come on in the films as well.
We learn things that we didn't think we would learn when we approach things in a certain way.
And the youngsters, I thought, wouldn't be really interested in what we knew or what we could tell them, but they were, and that was a joy to find, really.
Cheers. These memories are going to be kept and captured for future generations to hear. It's a way for us to talk and learn from each other rather than just reading books or, watching films. It's actually getting first-hand memories and first-hand knowledge about how it used to be.
And talking to the old generations, and it's like a glimpse to the past.
From people, young people and older people, so we can compare what it's like. Has it changed?
So what I've got for you today is a task to actually make a recording for me in 3 different groups about your cinema going experiences.
This sort of timeless experience in the cinema that's spread from one end of the last century right through to today, and have it always be strangely sort of the same, as much as it might be different.
And it's not how to work with the iPads, which we couldn't do before if it wasn't from yourselves.
Right.
To show us.
Right.
No. And also, we should get the beer bottles and the pop bottles. We should climb over the pub wall, pinch the bottles, and we should go into the shops and see, is this your bottle? Oh yeah, get a few bob into the pictures.
Sitting and recording some of the older people's memories, because you really got to feel, because it's like straight from their mouth, so you know that it's not just from a storybook, or it's not just what you've heard. It's real. This is people's lives.
Recording the past, which we need to do, because if we don't, it's lost.
It's vital that we record everything that was, because so many things get lost, and future generations, even my generation, think, oh, I wish I'd known that. I wish I'd asked that person when they were alive. How did that work? What did it feel like?
Just like, it's fascinating of how the cinemas used to be, because you always look at the cinemas and you think that's how they've always been. Then looking back at the pictures of them, I'm like, oh wow, it's really changed.
Probably the most memorable experience was going on the bus tour and going to see all these buildings that used to be cinemas, and I honestly hadn't even noticed were there before.
good day. Enjoying the weather. Apologise for that. So we'll do, if you split into two groups, we'll take you into the projection room. It's not as interesting as it used to be because it's all digital now. There's no moving parts and stuff like that. But,
Andy,
I know. It means I've got nothing to do now. That I've watched telly all day. So we're looking into the two groups. I'll just run through what it used to be like, what it's like now. Two completely different scenarios, really. But in 5 mil, to give you an idea, we use this 15-foot lambert, which is quite a bright image on screen. With 3D, they accept 4-foot lamberts, which you notice that was quite. You see a 3D film.
Sure. I suppose I'll get over that.
Eventually, the Zenons. Did you use Zenons or did you use carbon arc?
We always use carbon arc. What are they?
2,000 watt.
2,000 watt.
So basically that's the film we're playing, Top Cat. It shows how much you need to run, how much you've got left to go. I can stop it once, I won't do that because the little annoy the patrons in there. You can control it manually, but this will all start by itself. Control from the main computer upstairs.
See what goes on and what it takes to these huge, incredible machines to put that film out onto the screen for you.
Well, what intrigues me, the average film you say would be 4 cans.
Yeah.
What intrigues me, because as a cinema goer, I do remember at St John's it breaking once or twice, but what intrigues me is how did you so seamlessly put them together?
I used to join them.
Yeah, but how did you do it so well?
Well,
because I can't remember ever seeing the join.
Actually,
I used to get it wrong occasionally when I started.
Yeah, yeah.
We got a little machine which you join the ends in, and it was very precise because the film had to be located on steel pins built into the steel, on the perforation, so it had to be perfectly.
Yeah.
And then you cut it with like a razor cutter which was built into the machine, and then you got a little file thing that you ran up and down over the emulsion to get down to the base. To get down to the base, it also reduced the film by a half in thickness, so that when you got the two halves together,
it was the same.
It would run smoothly through the projector.
I really did like visiting the Odeon because that's something you really don't do often, and getting that privilege to go in there and see the equipment that they use.
That's what you'll remember, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We used to have about 12 of those for the main film.
This is actually, I mean, that's probably about 10 minutes there.
Really? Is that all?
That's all. This was a film made by a millionaire from Worcester for the Gumball Rally. You never collected it. It's been here for 7 years. You never won the collection. That's how they come now.
And that's a whole film. That's a main feature film.
That's one feature film there.
Oh right, that's interesting.
On hard drive.
Ah right. What's the capacity of that?
That's the duration of the film. That's a salmon fishing in the Yemen. That's an hour and 40-minute film on there.
Wow.
And that's the magic thing what the cinema used to have. And that was it. That was the projector, the early projector for the films. It was quite heavy. I should imagine why they made it of metal, because of the phosphorus. You know, there's a tray of this.
Does it still work?
Well, we were trying to get it to work.
No, we tried.
Could you get the spotlight in the back of it?
You can see the trails like
that would be strong.
and they used to burn the phosphorus in that, and then put it inside in the back. They had 2 doors which locked it. I think there was a thing went over the top as well to stop the light. And was a set years ago, and then they started these different slides which if you put on up to the light you can see different scenes. I'll give each one and you can just pull them up to the light.
Who does that belong to? Is it yours?
Yeah. We found out about magic lantern, which a lot of people didn't know what the magic lantern was.
Yeah, this color slide
would not actually have been photographed in color, but would have been hand tinted. So the detail on the Houses of Parliament, for example, and on the Strand and the sky and the detail there would all have been done by hand on each individual.
Like the photographs were.
Yeah, like the photographs. Yeah, yeah.
That's a good one.
I've learned a lot about the history of Worcestershire cinemas, about the Scala and the St John's and the Gaumont and all the other cinemas in Worcester.
Learning about the history of where we live, which is really exciting.
And a lot more about the memories from the old people's perspective, because it is a lot different, and I thought I knew about it, but there's some funny stories.
I'm really pleased it's going down in the archives.
It's changing. There's always going to be new stuff coming, and if we don't share, if the older generation don't share what they know now, it'll be lost, and it'll just be written down in books, and there's no enjoyment in that.
Otherwise, no one's ever going to know. Yeah, it will be just lost with the people who go.
And probably in 100 years' time, there might not be a cinema, which is more than likely. Probably won't even be televisions. It could be something completely we don't even know about. You know.
These intergenerational projects are important because without them, memories that people cherish would be forgotten, and I think that's one of the biggest injustices of time.